Hey, Mike. Apologize if you guys hear music in the background. They're still playing it out front here. But the game-winning goal aside, Travis Sanheim's really been one of your better defensemen for a while now. I mean, I would say maybe the last 12 to 15 games. When did you see kind of that light switch go on for him, and what has he changed? What has he done different to get out of the way he was playing maybe earlier in the season where he was struggling a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? Like I think even early in the season, things weren't going real well for him, and try to always look at the big picture. Even tonight, I thought that obviously he gets rewarded with a game-winning goal, and I thought in D zone he was a beast. He was quick. He was aggressive. But there was other times where he made it a little bit more difficult on himself. And on the flip side of that, I thought earlier in the year things weren't necessarily going real well for him. But he was oftentimes playing good hockey. I think the thing for Sandy is his skating ability, what that allows him to do both offensively and defensively. When we talked at the beginning of the year, we felt that this was a year that he could bust through as far as, he's come into an age in the NHL where he's ready to take another step, and he's doing that. It's still a work in progress. He's still a young guy, still trying to develop habits, and if our team can play the right way in front of him, then that's the kind of guy that can really capitalize on what that can do for him.
Olivia Reiner, you're on with the coach. Go ahead.
Hi, Mike. Going into this game, first period was a much stronger performance than the first period against the Canadiens. What happened in the second period for it seems like the foot got put off. The foot was no longer pressing on the gas pedal as strong as it was in the second period.
Yeah, that was. I'll say that was not part of the plan. Obviously, I felt that our start was unreal. I mean, you look at the way we came out. We were quick. We were aggressive. We were fast. We executed. Every team's got a game plan. They're going to dump pucks in. They're going to try to play in the offensive zone. We were able to relieve that pressure, break that pressure, and allow ourselves to get, into the offensive zone. Obviously, spent a lot of time with the puck in there. I thought that once we got up a couple goals there, probably the last 4 or 5 minutes of the period, we started to get a little bit cute, and we started not to manage the puck well. And some of those turnovers led to momentum for them going into the period. We tried to talk about it, address it, and came out right in the first shift again. Our execution's not quite as sharp, and we just never caught up to it. The thing, the message sort of to the guys after the game is we got to keep building the right habits here. It doesn't matter what the score is, and the reason for that is, when the intensity got cranked up by the other team, when they started to grab the momentum, that's when your habits really come out. And you could see that tonight when they had the momentum, we had a really tough time getting it back. And so that's what we're trying to build here. It doesn't matter what the score is. If we're up 2-0, if we're down 2-0, we have to continue to go out and do the things that we're preaching. And again, I think for us as a staff, as long as we continue to show what it looks like when we're doing it and what it looks like when we're not doing it, then I think that we'll get there fairly quickly.
Olivia, did you have a follow-up?
No, sorry, forgot to lower my hand.
Charlie O'Connor, you're on with coach. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike. Kind of following up on that, you talked about the idea of building habits. And you said you think it can happen relatively quickly. I guess my question is, how quickly do you think that can be implemented, especially with where you guys sit in the standings, you're trying to make up for lost ground and everything like that?
Yeah, I don't want to put a time frame on it. I've got a vision on my head of what it looks like, and there's times where you see a lot of progress, and there's times where what you would expect where it slips. And I think that when we start to see fewer slips, when it starts to see more consistency from game to game, from shift to shift, night after night, that's when you're kind of going to know it's there. There's no team that plays perfectly all the time, and but that said, I think the really good teams, they stay strong with their structure, their discipline, their mindset, how they approach the game, and that's what we're working towards. So again, I feel like there's been a lot of progress. I think that most people that are watching the game would have a good idea of what we're trying to accomplish, what our team, what we want to look like, you know, the pace that we can play with when we execute the right way. You know, how tenacious and difficult we can be to play against when we're playing in the offensive zone, having long shifts, possessing the puck, being strong on the puck. And then obviously the times that that's not happening, we have to find a way to get back to our game quickly. So, you know, there's parts of the game that we're trying to build, but we're, you know, some of that's habits, but also some of it's mindset that we have to continue to work on.
We will do 2 more questions. Jordan Hall, you're on with Coach. Go ahead.
Hi, Mike. How pleased were you with the response to Ottawa's 3rd goal? It seems like you guys didn't press or panic, and you just got right back to it.
Yeah, Jordan, that's a good question. That's kind of just to go back to Charlie's question is what we're trying to build is obviously a game plan, you know, the right habits for the players. We keep talking about that. But a lot of this game is about attitude too. And so when the other team's having a push, how do you respond? You know, if something bad happens in the game, how do you respond? And that's something we're still working on. But, you know, I look at, I know last game, the previous game against Montreal, we had a really bad first period. And then the second period was better. And the third period, even though we gave up a goal, we spent, I think, you know, 9 or 10 minutes of that period in the offensive zone. So that's the mindset we have to have. We have to, bad things are going to happen in the game. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You can't get down. You have to have that attack mindset, get right back out there, get right to your game. And I think it'll become easier for our group to do that when we continue to develop confidence in what we're trying to do.
And last question, Ariel Melendez, you're on with Coach. Go ahead.
Hi, Mike. You guys get Joel Farabee back. Obviously, he had a very important goal shortly after Ottawa took the lead there, but he kind of seemed to be buzzing from the jump. What did you like about the energy that he was able to bring to the team tonight?
Well, Joel, I mean, you know, I talked about it this morning. First of all, he's a young guy, but he doesn't play the game like a young player. That's for sure. He, you know, he plays the game on the right side of the puck. Plays the game with structure that allows his teammates to be able to read off him. He's the kind of guy that other people like to play with because of that. You know, I thought there was a few times where in the neutral zone he made some puck plays that we'd like to see be a little bit firmer, a little bit stronger. That said, he also hasn't been with us for this last 2 weeks that we've been trying to talk about these things and do these things and practice them. But you know, from a coach's perspective, that's the kind of guy that you want on the ice because of the way he thinks the game, the way that he works. And obviously he's got offensive ability on top of that. So getting him back was real big for our group tonight.